Today, we're going to go ahead and put together an entire job hunting package for a product manager role over there at Sierra. Now, for starters, this doesn't look like your average product manager role based upon its title, strategist, agent, development, healthcare. But if you take a look deeper into the actual job description, this is what product management has evolved to. As with all positions that we get our people ready for, I'm going to walk you through from the very beginning to the very end how we're going to make this happen, largely on Claude. So we leverage here 5 projects. Number 1 is the PM job targeting and outreach system, the ATS resume customizer. Probably I would say the most important of the 3 would be the portfolio pitch project designer, the interview intelligence system, and then the post-interview closer. Now, why are these guys actually important? Well, for starter, if you don't have a really good LinkedIn message, you're not going to go ahead and actually book the interview. Let's assume for a second here that you've booked the interview already. You're going to need a resume that's going to be well suited for this role. And the best way to do that is actually have a project where you can upload the description, you can go ahead and upload the resume, and it's going to convert your resume to be much more aligned for the position, regardless of the background that you're coming from, because a lot of people would love to work at a company as awesome as Sierra, but unfortunately they may not have directly correlated experience, but they might have a lot of transferable experience. They might have a lot of transferable experience, but if you don't have the right wording, the right vocabulary, you're going to have this job taken by somebody else because they're just going to deem that that other person is going to require less onboarding time, or they're just going to be less risky. However, let's just say up until now, these first 2 barriers that we're trying to solve is just getting the product manager interview. You still need to go ahead and actually convert this interview into offer. There's 3 things that you're going to need. Number 1, you're going to need a portfolio, which we're going to help you design live on this call, so stay all the way until the end of the video. Number 2 is you're going to need to put together an interview. You're going to basically need to go ahead and put together an interview kind of cheat sheet. And in the interview cheat sheet, we're going to do one of 2 things. Actually, we're going to do both things. Number 1 is, as you can see from this prompt, there are 2 major things that you need to get ready for. Number 1 is output number 3, universal interview questions. Everybody is going to get these questions regardless of what their background is interviewing for this role. Number 2, background specific interview questions. These are questions that are very unique to your background because they feel that, well, your background might present XYZ challenges. Now, this is actually when sometimes people are going to be, oh man, am I even going to be a good fit for this role? There's no such thing as a candidate that has 10 out of 10. A lot of times it's a wish list. Most you can hope for in the world of recruiting is probably about 7 out of 10 at best. So give yourself a little bit more credit and definitely go in there with a little bit. If you go in there with a little bit more juice, and I'm about to show you in this video how you can do that, you have a much better chance. The next thing here is the post-interview closer. Why is this important? This is very important because when I was actually a recruiter, one of the things that made the big difference between somebody getting a flat out no to converting that no into a maybe, and then converting that maybe into a yes was the thank you letter. The thank you letter should never underestimate the thank you letter, because this has been a huge difference maker even in our community where we've helped people land into some of the most insane companies like a Hulu, a Venmo, or a Bloomberg or a Google or Spotify, is that you should have some degree of self-awareness of where the interview did not go as good as you thought, and what are you going to go ahead and do to try to rectify these problems. In 2026, it's absolutely impossible for you to present yourself as a candidate that knows absolutely everything. So we want to let them know, these were the questions that we could have answered better. This is what I'm going to go ahead and do to rectify it. So let's go and start off with the actual job description. Now I'm going to go back to this role here. If you don't already know, the two co-founders are total rock stars. So you got Brett, and then you go out there and you have Clay. To go ahead and start things off, I would say one of the immediate quick wins that people can go ahead and do. This is like the most like, I don't know why my computer's lagging right now. I guess because I have so many tabs open. But this person here used to be the co-CEO of Salesforce, and then he was the chairman of the board for Twitter. Stanford grad, right? Very awesome background. Then we got Clay, co-founder, Princeton, the other side of the country. And then for 18 years, he was at Google. So we also want to go ahead and see some of the things, such as some of the recent posts. You want to be very attuned to what's going on with the company. Sierra just hit $200 million ARR. It took 7 quarters to get to $100 million and only 2 more quarters to add to our next $100 million. That is insane. Proud of the team, very grateful for our customers and our partners. This was 1 week ago, and then 6 months ago, they hit $100 million in ARR. Why is this important? When you're going into an interview, you want to genuinely be excited for what's going on with the company. Even if you're not that pumped up about the company, you should go out there and find out. When you're going and you're taking a look at who the founders are, 2 areas, possibly 3 areas you really want to take a look at. Number 1, LinkedIn. Number 2, X. Number 3, you might also want to take a look at their Instagram, depending on the industry. Next thing you can also go ahead and do is actually just follow them on X and just take a look at, this is actually Brett right here, Sierra Platform, board member, also at OpenAI. A lot of times people actually don't even see these things, which is like, they don't even know it. But this is actually why you're watching this YouTube channel, right? Don't forget to subscribe if you guys have not already. But if you take a look at it, you have, here's a great case study for Sierra's work with GoFundMe, who used Sierra to go out there and create a coach to help guide people through the process. Go out there, shoot that thing a like, go out there, repost it, go out there, make a comment. The OpenAI Foundation, he's a board member, right? So go out there and give it a little heart. Go out there, give it a little heart. I'm excited to go out there and actually go out there and give it a little heart. Distribution right now is everything in the world of tech, actually for every single business that's out there. These things might seem very superficial, but so many people that are showing up to the interview based upon the real on-hand intelligence that my friends are getting is that people are just showing up focusing on the job. The job right now as a product manager, if you're thinking about this in the restaurant business, is nobody's going out to eat anymore for food. Like, you got to go out there and get the word out there and actually get customers rallying in. I've actually had so many people in my program, and I've actually seen so many people in other roles, not just product management or forward deployed engineering roles. They would go and comment, like, share, repost something, and they're actually communicating directly with the CEO. Something I can go ahead and talk about all day, but let's now talk about putting together a project portfolio together. And this is what we're going to go ahead and do first. Most people are going to go and take a look at this job role right here, which I'm going to try to find on the tab. And what we're going to do first is put together the portfolio. This does not have to be in a chronological order, but I think the most logical step is always to start with the portfolio because it gives you a better understanding of what the role actually requires. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do now is I'm going to copy this entire job description right here, and I'm going to copy it. And I'm going to take all this, I'm just going to give it a raw copy, and I'm going to go over to Claude. And you can go ahead and actually do this for your own Claude too. Now, if you guys want some of the resources that's been referenced here, y'all can always go ahead and actually ping me on LinkedIn. Having said that, here's what we're going to go ahead and do for the Claude project. So this is the name, the Portfolio Pitch Project Designer. Wow the hiring manager or go straight to the CEO. We actually want to present a portfolio that's going to wow them. 9 out of 10 candidates right now are not going into these interviews with a portfolio. So you're kind of just expecting the hiring team to think that, to just believe in what it is that you're saying. And I understand why you may feel hesitant to create a portfolio, because you think it's going to cost like you a lot of time or a lot of effort, and you're like thinking maybe, well, why should I do all of this work if I'm not going to even get the job yet? I understand that type of mentality, but also the person that will do it, that's coming out of our product management program or forward deployed engineering program, they're definitely going to go ahead and get a job. And who would you go ahead and be more excited to interview if you were on the position of hiring, right? So pretty please, sugar on top, help me, help you. You want to go ahead and you can choose whichever name that you want. Under the description here, which I have right here, and then I also have in my trusty little Airtable, as you can see here, sure, you're going to have that. This is actually the following prompt that we have out, which is, you don't need 10 years at Google to land a PM role at a company you love. You need one project so relevant, so well executed, so aligned with the exact growth problem that the hiring manager or CEO has no choice but to respond. Upload a job description to the company you're targeting, tell Claude your background, and get 3 to 5 high impact portfolio projects you can actually build, record, pitch, complete with YouTube top video titles, CEO outreach angles, and delivery format that makes the experienced candidates look like they played it safe. You want to make your competition look freaking amateur. The next thing here is we have our instructions. So you are a product strategy advisor and portfolio architect who specializes in helping non-traditional product manager candidates land roles at elite technology companies by building tangible, high-impact projects that demonstrate growth thinking, customer acquisition instincts, and real product execution, not just theoretical frameworks. Your students are ambitious, what they lack, and I have this entire thing out. Component number 1, which we're about to show you, everything that you need to know. And then I also have it, again, where I also have it back in the project instructions right here on this Airtable. And the only thing that you need to do under files is just upload your resume. So I'm going to go into my actual portfolio now, which is here. And I'm going to go ahead and actually do voice prompting. And for those of you who would like to get on this voice prompt, I actually have all my voice prompt done with GenSpark Speakly. And the referral code is actually in the YouTube description on the bottom. But here, this is a job description that I have copied and pasted for a role with Sierra AI, a voice AI company, and I'm getting ready for this interview. Can you go ahead and actually help me prepare for this interview? I need to know, I need you to help me basically prepare the entire package ready to go, from the role brief, the product gaps, project 1, 2, 3, and then of course the build order. Any additional suggestions would be very much welcome. And I'm going to paste that right here. I'm going to say this. Although the title is not product management, the person that's getting ready for this interview is a product manager. And then we're going to have this, and we're going to let Claude work its magic. And while it's doing this right now, the output of it is going to look very similar to something like this. Give me a second. Where we got like ready, like somebody actually booked a Google product manager interview for the wearables just using this. We have the role brief, we have the product gaps, we have the project 1, project 2, project 3. And while we're basically having that over here, I want to go back, and you can have actually another project where we can have the interview intelligence systems, very, very, very similar. This is the project description right here. These are the project instructions. It's very important that you basically upload the job description first, And it's going to go ahead, and then the next thing that you want to go ahead and do is you want to add all of the the hiring manager's LinkedIn profiles. You want to add that in as well. And then you have the output for the universal interview questions. Like, generally speaking, produce 8 to 10 questions that this company will ask virtually every product manager, regardless of their background, right? And this is actually one of the instructions we're giving Claude. Then secondly is like the output number 4 is, well, what are some of the questions that they're going to basically have for me directly? Like, perhaps maybe it's like a bigger company, like you're coming from a big tech PM and you're going into a startup. Some very general questions that they would ask is, how do you feel about working for a smaller team? Because in a smaller startup, you don't have as many people, you don't have as many resources, you're generally speaking scrappier. So we don't want to just have what are some of the most, we don't want to think, we want to get ahead of it. We want to think about what are all the reasons why they wouldn't go out there and hire us, instead of just thinking to ourselves I'm going to go in there and talk about how I'm a good fit for this role. You can be a very good fit for this role on skills, but they do look at other things that they interpret as a red flag. Most importantly, I would say one of the success traits of the people that are coming out of our program that has landed really awesome product manager jobs going through our entire training process is not to take these questions defensively, however, but to have a plan and just appreciate that if you've made it to the interview, they definitely see potential. So it's about providing them with so much value that they're not even thinking about. They think there's just so much. You're just such a better choice to go and hire, right? Output number 5, the red flag anticipation list. If you're going into, I have a lot of cousins that are lawyers. And I think they learned something that they told me. I never forgot. When you're going to court, you can't go into court thinking that the opposing side is. You have to just assume they have access to all the information that you have, right? And how would you come at yourself? This was actually a strategy, because if you take a look at my background, I studied history back in school in preparation to go into law school myself to become an entertainment lawyer in a different lifetime. Is what the Roman generals would used to do is before they went to war, they would think about, if we were the enemy, knowing everything that we know about us right now, how would we come at us? Let's just assume they know we only have 10 days left of food. How would they come at us? People have to focus more than just what the job description is asking for, but also focus on things about such as, I'm going to go back over here to the prompt. You should also focus on your story banks of how are you personally a good fit, not just for the job, but also how are you personally a good fit for the hiring manager. We've had people land product manager roles because they bonded over something like snowboarding. Oh, I saw that you also DJ on the weekends. These little things, they all add up to big things. So these little advantages, that one little thing is not going to be, it can and it cannot, but I can appreciate why some people would feel that it's insignificant. In a market though, such as 2026, you need every possible advantage, because this is also a company that's doing very well. I mean, it took them 7 quarters, maybe even forgot during the time that I've actually had this conversation with you, but it took them 7 quarters to hit $100 million, which is freaking insane enough as it is. But it also only just took them 2 more quarters to hit another 100 million. That's freaking insane, yo. That is freaking insane. So let's just go ahead and that was only from this was 6 months ago. This was posted up a week ago. Who knows what's going to happen? So whatever work you don't feel that you want to do, and you're trying to justify why you shouldn't do it. Because I get it. People are thinking to themselves why should I do all this work? And what happens if I don't get it? I'm going to feel that much more down. But the truth of the matter is, take it from me, because I'm a business owner too at the end of the day, not just a career coach for some random boot camp or career coaching program out there, is good help is actually very, very, very hard to find. So even if you don't think like you're going to get it, you very much can still get it later. So now that we actually have our project brief here, it's a deep research is complete. This is one of the most exciting roles in the series and the most time sensitive since you have an interview schedule. Let me build out the full playbook for you here with maximum interview prep depth. So you have the role brief, what Sierra is really hiring for, and why this is one of the most consequential roles in AI right now. Sierra is a $15 billion company. They just hit $150 million in 8 quarters, right? So insane that they even have access to this info, because they did 100 million. They did 100 million in 7 quarters. One of the fastest enterprise software ramps in history. Their healthcare vertical already reaches 50% of US families. The agent strategist title is deliberately not product manager. Sierra wants somebody that's going to combine the strategic thinking of a product manager with the solution architect's technical depth and a management consultant's client relationship skills. You're not building a product for an internal roadmap. You're building AI agents that handle the most emotionally sensitive conversations in healthcare. What does my insurance actually cover? Why is this bill so high? Am I eligible for financial assistance at scale? For enterprise clients who will fire Sierra if a single agent conversation causes a compliance violation. Oh, I can imagine that's not fun. So the healthcare patient journey, benefits, members don't understand coverage. Agent, what's my copay for X? Scheduling, phone hold times, no-shows, manual rebooking. Agent, book, reschedule, remind 24/7. Intake, paper forms, low completion rate. Agent, conversational pre-visit intake. Priority, prior authorization, days of delay, manual payer calls. Agent, automated PA initiation, follow-up. Billing, EOB confusion. So just showing that you have, if we take a look back at the job description right here, right? Like, okay, so about the role, healthcare is one of the fastest growing. Our agents are already deployed. Our healthcare includes major healthcare networks. Join us. What you will go ahead and actually do, be a trusted advisor. Example projects, if you take a look at this and we're skimming here, like outstanding communication, technical expertise, problem solving, leadership and team management, foundational expertise. Okay, our values, we have what we offer. Here is, if you take a look at this entire description, let me tell you why this prompt has been so effective at helping our people get some of the most rock star roles. Is what Sierra is really hiring for. When you're going into the interview and they have an understanding and appreciation that you know how serious this role are, because so many people are going in a product manager role and they're not thinking about the consequences of the hiring team when they get the wrong person. This is a problem. So we very specifically prompted our Claude project for the portfolio project designer is you don't need the CEO angles, but like your primary objective at the very top end is actually understanding, what is this role actually hiring for, and what are the consequences of the team when we don't do our jobs correctly and when these mistakes actually happen. At scale, like, for enterprise clients who will fire, I understand there's a lot of stress, right? There probably is a lot of pressure on the team, because for enterprise level clients, which we operate at the enterprise software vertical, we get it wrong one time, boom, we're out, right? Because when you're going into these hospital groups, as attractive as voice AI might sound, there are problems because people already are not having a good experience with their insurance. But like the fact that it's just all automated, or a part of it is automated, if there's a mistake out there, the next thing that first thing is they're gonna go into panic mode. The next thing is they're gonna be thinking, okay, how big is the problem? Like has it effed up how many more times over that we don't even know about because we didn't even catch it because it's on AI. This is a problem. Why this role is unlike every other PM role, you're a trusted advisor builder simultaneously. The healthcare conversations have zero margin for agent failure. Sierra's values are the interview, especially craftsmanship and intensity. $15 billion valuation, $150 million ARR, and then you have the one sentence job beneath the job description. Be the person Cigna's VP of Patient Experience, Sutter Health's CIO, and a 30 clinic urgent care group all trust to understand their hardest pain, patient communication problems, and then build the AI agent that solves those problems compliantly. Very important. Like when we deal with, one thing I've noticed with all the healthcare roles, that word compliance goes together like a burger and a side of fries. Empathetically and at scale without ever letting the patient feel like they're talking to a robot. That's also why knowing, like, this is one of the reasons why we're talking about voice. 11 Labs is also winning is because they have the most human sounding like AI agents, right? The 7 tabs included, we'll have all this information here. So you have this, and then you've got the product gaps, right? So gap number 1, the safe escalation design problem, the most critical in healthcare. Gap number 2, gap number 3, gap number 4. I'm gonna get all of this into a doc for you guys. Project 1, the healthcare benefits agent, a working HI, a HIPAA conscious conversational agent that answers insurance coverage questions. Built on Sarah's use case, you can actually create a RAG where, let's see here, why is this the most powerful? Actually, let's go through the second project. A conversational intake agent, a patient pre-visits intake prototype that replaces a paper form with the conversion rate analysis. And then you also have project number 3, the healthcare agent audit, a competitive analysis of how Cigna, Sutter Health, and multi-site urgent care group should be using AI agents. Interview prep. The interview prep, specific questions, Sierra will go out there and ask and how to answer them. And then you have basically your build order, and then you have your first project right here. What I would do for somebody that's in this position right now is actually build out at a very low level scale. They want at least you see, like, before you start catering 100, I don't know, sandwiches, like an hour, let's just say you were like a cook on a cruise, right? Can you at least just show me that you've done some of it? You know, I would go and voluntarily build out an AI receptionist for a small business like a chiropractor or dentistry in the neighborhood. Something that we do here in our New York location is we go around and we try to do it more. But like we have so many events is once a month, we invite the local businesses to come by and say, hey, we would love to show you guys how to use some AI for yourself. And one of the things that we actually talk about is building that AI receptionist, which everybody seems to be very much in favor of. Show them that this is a very big problem to solve, but show them that you have some degree of experience interacting with actual business owners, or like even at the lowest level, the solopreneur slash chiropractor, solopreneur slash dentistry around the block from you. You've built something, it's deployed. We know, we can trust that you can put together a RAG, you can choose together a voice from 11 Labs, and it can go out there and you have put together some voice agentic functions like, hey, it automates a call, it automates an email, it automates out a form, collects this information. That would give you so much more of an advantage in today's market versus you're just going to give them some face answers, right? So what I'm going to do with this information right now, I'm going to take this, I'm going to copy this over to a clipboard, and I'm just going to add it over to this doc right here. And then I'm going to go back over, well, that's the wrong Claude. So I'm going to take some of this information at the very bottom, and I'm also just going to go ahead and add this guy in. Very nice. And then the next thing I'm going to go ahead and do, just for context, I'm going to talk about some of the product gaps right here. And I figured it'd be just a tad bit easier if I just go ahead and start copying everything in. Okay, now I know what the product gaps are. And at the bottom here, I'm just going to copy all of that info. Just give me a second here. And then now we basically have this information for y'all, the product gaps. And then we have project number 1. Which I'll add here. And we now have project number 2. So people also ask me during this time, Rich, do I need to build out all these projects? I don't really think it's that difficult because I've already prompted it in a way where you can actually go ahead and actually build it out. And it actually says so in the project. So I also have the interview prep here for you. And then the build order. Now the build order at the very bottom here, you guys can go ahead and take a look at that. But you have all of this information. Interview prep. And then you have the build order. All right, so you have all this info here, and I think what's really cool is at the very bottom here is like how to use this in an interview. I spent time researching Sierra's healthcare customer types, blah, 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 30. I'd argue the appointment scheduling and after hours coverage agent pays back in 60 days, and I can walk you through this. So you have this, and then all you got to do now is just create from here. You can create the prompts. You can ask Claude to create the prompts for you to directly just plug and play into Lovable, and then now you have some side projects that you can go out there and actually present. And a lot of this information here, well, we should go through it much more depth in our program, obviously. But now that you have all of this information, so what are you going to do with it? Well, you still need to go ahead and actually do some mock interviews, and on top of getting your interview in order. But something else that I would also recommend as a bonus tip, going back to this, is you can go back over to Sierra, and if you take a look at all this wonderful information, I think something that you can also go ahead and do is see what some of their customers' stories are like. Right here, Rocket Mortgage is one of them, but take a look at, out of all these companies right now, Sutter Health, right? Let's examine this story. We have Ramp, we have Clearch. Let's see here, we have this, okay. How Sutter Health is scaling chronic care and they have a whole video. I would definitely recommend you watch this. I would definitely recommend that you watch this, right? Also, something else that we should take part in actually seeing, appreciating. Who are the people right now? The agent product manager, agent engineer with the vice president of population health, Sutter.
Hello, my name is Mary.
Let's take a look at this. what all this information, why AI grows, this is all really good information for you to go ahead and add in. Pop all this stuff, this transcription into a notebook LM, you really good to go. Other things that I would actually go ahead and actually do to get ready for this interview is also take a look, in addition to customer stories, something else that I could also do here. I'm giving away so many tips. Is in right here where it says healthcare, agents for end-to-end, I booked your pediatrician. What is their existing pitch right now, right? What is their existing pitch right now? I think something else that, and you could see all these different other people that's actually part of the healthcare process, like their healthcare success stories. Something else that, oh my gosh, the Heart of Healthcare podcast. This is by one of the co-founders, right? How are you going to go into the interview for a healthcare role and not do this and actually listen to it, right? And I would actually make a social post about it, like, hey, I just heard this podcast about the future of healthcare and, you know, the impact that AI agents are going to go ahead and play in it. AI agents in healthcare. This is essentially their product demo. Is AI agents in healthcare. This is a 20-minute on-demand webinar. It shows basically all of this information. And something else that I would also go ahead and do is, let's take a look at, they had right here, I would try to get a feel for the actual experience for Sutter Health, but I would take a look at this right now and take a look at, I would look this person up on LinkedIn. Another tip that I would also give out is take a look at things like the KPIs that they're using to describe these customer success stories. 4 times higher conversion rates, resolution rate, donations, like customer satisfaction rate, client satisfaction rate, right? If you're actually thinking like monthly hours saved, time to live, NPS improvement, case resolution, customer satisfaction, resolution rate. These are the KPIs that they actually really value. There's so much that we can go ahead and actually take apart here. All of the resources that people need to get ready for this interview is already here. So the next thing that somebody could really leverage in our program is show that you're doing more than just theory and you're already interacting with the customer. So this is actually one of the posts that I really, really like on LinkedIn that I saw about a month ago. And this is the VP of Growth over here at Perplexity. And prior to being the head of growth, he's currently the VP of Product and Growth. And he was the head of growth over there at Perplexity before he essentially now I think runs both departments, right? Product and growth, because it's merging the roles right now together to respond to what the market really needs. I want to personally work with 5 companies in May. I will sit down with every team, every department, every function, spec out opportunities, build out the exact workflow every team and department function needs. And I'll hang around, I'll work with the team to integrate them. I'll hang around until your team is fully self-serve and getting incredible amount of impact from the new tooling. You will need to be willing to spend some time with me, at least 1 week, daily check-ins. Need to make sure everyone on your team is bought in. Need to set up basically an enterprise pro and max account. And this is effectively where we're at in the marketplace, where like all of this information so far has largely been theory that we're talking about here. So you want to be actually deploying these skills. You want to be interacting with your market, because you're just talking about, it sounds nice. It sounds really nice. Like I'm going to go out there. Like this would be so much more impactful if you built, let's just say, a healthcare benefits agent for 5 dentists around your neighborhood, and you're getting feedback from them. You're getting a chance to see what their challenges are every single day. This is like, go out there and start talking to people. The big shift between, I would say, pre-2022 product management And 2026 product management right now is you're either going to be on, like, you got to be interacting with the customer way more. Companies actually don't even want you to just hang around in the office. Because at the end of the day, if we're running a restaurant here, your job as, like, let's just say if you are product managing the restaurant, whether you are, I would say the engineer is probably like the person that's actually making the food. Maybe the product manager would be equivalent to the restaurant manager. You need to be out there walking to every single table, and instead of just saying like, I'm getting their food served and I'm moving food around, is asking them like, what do you think? And it's like, I think it was a little bit too spicy, and be able to go out there and incorporate that feedback instead of being defensive about it, actually doing something with it. That's what companies really see, and that's why our people are mobilizing into the best product manager jobs, because so many other product managers, they are so defensive about getting critical feedback from the end user, and they don't want to hear it, right? It's like, okay, that time now is over. Right now, you need to be out there. So in product management, you're either going to be in a growth, monetization, product management role, or you're going to be in some type of forward deployed. Like that person's background, if I'm actually taking a look at it, they're interacting. As you can see, they're doing podcasts. Like they're interviewing the customer. So y'all should go ahead and do it too. If you really wanted to take it another step up, you can always go ahead and actually book a demo. And see how it is that they're pitching it. There are some, like, you know, how would you be able to do it if you're not like a hospital group? There are some hacks, but if you're really dedicated in doing something, you can go ahead and always figure it out. My name is Rich with Tech Careers. Please go ahead, schedule a call. The game has been elevated, but these rates are absolutely insane. If you want to be a part of the best companies, you definitely need to go ahead and make sure that you have a portfolio. Something else that would also make you look extra juicy and extra attractive to the company is if you have the Claude Certified Architect Foundations certificate. If you have that along with the portfolio and it's showing that you're already doing the work, you're going to look so rock star. Talk to you very, very soon. Don't forget to go ahead and book a call with us. Talk to you later.